evening. It's Saturday the 19th of October. It's just past 6 o'clock and welcome to our Saturday evening news coming to you live from the heart of Wyke, Regis. And in the news tonight, since the launch of this winter's campaign to vaccinate people against flu and COVID-19, nearly 250,000 vaccinations have been delivered to eligible people living in Dorset. Vaccinations have been delivered this autumn across general practice, pharmacies, community settings and to vulnerable people via the Health Bust Trust. If you're eligible but haven't had your vaccination yet, it isn't too late to book your appointment and get protected. And you can do this through your GP surgery, on the NHS website, by downloading the NHS app or by calling the COVID-19 booking line 119, and calls to that are free. For more information on vaccinations, details of local clinics and to check if you're eligible, you can go to the special local website www.staywelldorset.nhs.uk/vaccinations. That's www.staywelldorset.nhs.uk/vaccinations. And for those of you in the Weymouth and Portland area, if you want to go to a walk-in clinic, there is that one this coming Tuesday, that's the 22nd of October, at the Linden unit in Westhaven Hospital on Radipole Lane from 9 a.m. to 4:30. No appointment is necessary, but you obviously need to be eligible to receive the free vaccinations. Now, Dorset Council has issued a statement yesterday regarding the council's position on the government's decision to grant a licence for the operation of the waste incinerator on Portland. The statement on behalf of the council was issued by Nick Ireland and reads as follows. It is extremely disappointing that the Secretary of State did not agree with the views of our planning committee, planning officers and thousands of Dorset residents when the government overturned our decision to reject the Portland incinerator. Having reviewed the planning inspector's report, we considered whether to mount a legal challenge. But this was only likely to be successful if we could show that the government's decision had not been reached in a lawful way. Regrettably, following expert advice from the Independent Legal Counsel, we will not be taking legal action. We simply cannot justify spending an exorbitant amount of taxpayers' money on a challenge we have been told would be likely to fail in court. Dorset Council remains opposed to the incinerator, and we will fight the Secretary of State's decision with every remaining tool at our disposal. We will also continue to stand firm alongside the Portland and Dorset residents who oppose the burning of waste on the Jurassic coastline for environmental, economic and health reasons. Now, the NHS is seeking the views of the public on blood pressure. High blood pressure, also known as hypertension, often has no symptoms, so you may not even realise that you have it. However, around 1 in 4 people are affected, and that can lead to serious problems like heart attacks or strokes. Both are known as cardiovascular disease. As such, preventing and tackling high blood pressure is a priority for the NHS, and they are seeking the views of local people, which will help shape future services, prevention work and care for those who are affected. Responses are being collated on behalf of the South West region by a team at NHS Gloucester. However, all responses are confidential and no identifiable data will be shared, and obviously urging people across the whole South West, including Dorset, to put their responses in. Now, the survey closes on Friday the 6th of December, and the website for the Dorset area is www.smartsurvey.co.uk/s/Dorset-BP. I'll tell you that again. It's www.smartsurvey.co.uk/s, that's S for sugar, /Dorset-BP. Now, with Halloween and Bonfire Night fast approaching, Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service is encouraging everyone to have a spooky but safe Halloween. As new companies from overseas make it easier than ever to access cheaper costumes, we are encouraging everyone to check that they're correct CE labelling, says Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue. Standards also changed, so it may be well worth checking that any not quite retired costumes are still fit for purpose too. That's one that you've obviously got before. Fancy dress costumes are currently classified as toys rather than clothes and are not required to be flame resistant or flame retardant. Now, the following tips will help reduce the risk of fire and keep you safe at Halloween. So first of all, check the labels. Those attached to the product should show a CE mark, which means that they comply with EN 71-2, and that's a European flammability resistant requirement. You may also wish to look for swing labels that indicate the costume has undergone BRC additional tests, and that will say something like this garment has undergone additional safety testing for flammability. Buy obviously from a reputable retailer. Cheap or imported costumes that don't meet the UK safety standards and may even have fake labelling. Layer up, so make sure that you have clothes under dressing up costumes to give a layer of protection between the costume and your skin. Don't let your child go near any ignition sources, particular things like candles in Halloween lanterns and sparklers on firework night. And most importantly, teach your child, if they catch fire, to stop, drop and roll. So fall to the ground and then roll over and over and over to try and put the fire out. And if anybody does get burnt in any way, just douse the burnt area with copious amounts of water and obviously dial 999. Now, first aid advice says to treat burns by treating under running water for up to 20 minutes. It's a long time, but that is necessary to cool the area sufficient and with the hope of not causing any long-term injuries. Now, if you want any special advice for Halloween or for firework night, you can pop along to the Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue website at dwfire.org.uk and look for the links for fire safety for Halloween and firework night. Now, Dorset County Hospital is transforming its Fortuneswell unit for patients undergoing chemotherapy treatment. Funded by the Trust and money raised by the Dorset County Hospital's charity chemotherapy appeal, the £2 million refurbishment will include a revised layout with more space, better facilities and an outdoor courtyard space. Nick Johnson, who's the Deputy Chief Executive Officer at Dorset County Hospital, said, "We are very pleased that work to improve our Fortuneswell unit is underway. So many people will be affected by cancer in their lifetime, and we want to support patients undergoing chemotherapy treatment by providing them with the best possible environment. Once it's complete, we hope that the new and improved unit will complement the fantastic care already given by our staff." Now, while the refurbishment is being carried out, chemotherapy patients are temporarily receiving their treatment on Fortuneswell Ward, which is next door to the Fortuneswell unit. So, Fortuneswell Ward at the moment, but it's going to be the Fortuneswell unit eventually, which is next door. Work is due to be completed in spring 2025. Now, police officers are investigating a suspected arson attack in Weymouth, and they are issuing a CCTV image of two people they would like to identify, and you can now see that on the screen. Dorset Police received a report shortly after 3 a.m. on Thursday the 29th of August of a fire involving scaffolding in St Albans Street. Yes, originally Dorset Police said they put the wrong date out, 29th of September, but it was Thursday the 29th of August. The fire service extinguished the fire, which also caused damage to the exterior of the nearby properties, and it was reported that the cause was believed to be suspicious. Further inquiries by officers revealed that two people had been seen on CCTV climbing on the scaffolding at around 2:20 a.m. on the morning of the fire. Police Constable Georgina Hedditch of Weymouth Police said, "We are continuing to investigate the fire and are now in possession of a CCTV image of two people we would like to identify." If you can help Dorset Police with this or any other incident, you can contact them on 101, or if you wish to give the information anonymously, you can do this via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, Wyke held its annual motorcycle ride out on Saturday the 21st of September, and what a brilliant day they had, raising over £8,000 for the life-saving charity. Wyke regional leads led separate convoys starting from locations in Dorset, Devon, Hampshire and Somerset. And after completing their routes, motorcyclists were greeted with the warmest of welcomes at the Dorset Bike Festival in Beer Regis. Over 600 people turned out in support of the festival and were treated to the delights of bike displays, a fantastic array of stalls from motorcycle dealerships, scrumptious food, live music, along with finding out the winners of the grand raffle, which had some incredible prizes donated by local businesses. Speaking of the success of this year's event, Brett Callahan, regional lead for Somerset and Avon and Deputy National Director of Doc Bike, said, "This was the first time that we held the end point of our ride out at the Dorset Bike Festival, and we are delighted that it was such a success. The Doc Bike charity receives no funding from government and relies on the generosity of the public to continue our life-saving work. So we are thrilled to have raised such a fantastic amount, which will help towards our ever-growing operational costs." Now, if you want to learn more about Doc Bike, you can pop along to their website, which is nice and easy. It's www.docbike.org. www.docbike.org. Weymouth's neighbourhood plan will go to the next meeting of Weymouth Town Council's full council, and that will be on November the 20th. When endorsed, it will be submitted to the Dorset Council, who will put the plan out to public consultation in 2025. In the run-up to November's full council meeting, the latest draft version of the neighbourhood plan document is available on the Weymouth Town Council's website. On Tuesday, that'll be from Tuesday the 12th of November. The updated version will reflect changes made from feedback received throughout the formal consultation about what development is desired where and what land should be protected in Weymouth. On Thursday the 14th of November, a drop-in session has been held at the new Town Hall in Commercial Road between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. The drop-in provides an opportunity for people to come along and seek clarification on the plan and ask questions about how it's changed. The plan has been prepared by residents and councillors who make up the neighbourhood plan steering group, and there's been several rounds of engagement and consultation with local users. Weymouth Town Council will hold the next full council meeting at the Chesham Suite at the Rembrandt Hotel and not at the Town Hall, and this is on the 20th of November to allow more people to attend if they are interested in coming along, and the meeting will start at 7 p.m. So that's the 20th of November at 7 p.m. in the Chesham Suite at the Rembrandt Hotel if you want to go to the next Weymouth Town Council meeting where the local plan, the neighbourhood plan, will be discussed. Weldmar Hospice Care has announced that they will be partnering with Just Racing UK for the Weymouth Half Marathon in March 2025. On Sunday 16th of March, participants will get to run around beautiful landmarks in Weymouth, including the seafront, Lodmore Country Park, the historic harbour and through the Noth Gardens. Weldmar Hospice Care is pledging to refund the registration fee for any participant who meets the minimum sponsorship target for Weldmar of £250 through a Just Giving page. Eden Fraser, who's Weldmar fundraiser, said, "We are really pleased to be partnering with Weymouth Half Marathon next year for their 10th anniversary. We are really hoping to raise lots of vital funds for Weldmar Hospice Care, whilst also having a great day cheering everyone on." New for 2025, Just Racing UK is celebrating their 10th year of the event by launching the Weymouth Half, which, as the name suggests, is half mile marathon, which is half of the 13.1 miles, opening up the event to those who may have been daunted by the distances before. Now, if you want to find out more about Weldmar Hospice Care and the Weymouth Half Marathon, pop along to the Weldmar Hospice Care website at weldmarhospicecare.org. That's weldmarhospicecare.org. Dorset Museum and Art Gallery has revamped the format of their relaxed openings to offer new and improved quiet openings which provide a calm environment for individuals and families alike to explore the museum at their own pace. Following invaluable visitor feedback, Dorset Museum and Art Gallery has extended the hours of quiet openings so that they run now from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, allowing more time to explore, engage with exhibits and enjoy activities in a quieter setting. The next quiet opening will take place on Saturday the 2nd of November from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. During these sessions, the large screens in the galleries are turned off and where possible, lights will be low. Staff and volunteers at Dorset Museum and Art Gallery will be on hand to help with any questions, and there will also be sensory activities in the Learning Centre for family visitors to dip into should they wish. While these openings are especially suitable for visitors with autism and other sensory conditions, all visitors who would like to visit the museum in a calm and relaxed atmosphere are, of course, welcome. There's no need to book in advance for the quiet openings, but the usual admission charges do still apply. Dorset Coding Day has achieved a remarkable milestone this year, with record numbers of students from across Dorset and Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole area participating in the event. The initiative, led by Dorset Council in partnership with Barclays Digital Eagles and supported by Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Council, was a resounding success, receiving overwhelmingly positive feedback from the schools county-wide. Rebecca Martin, who's head teacher at St Mark's School, Swanage, shared her enthusiasm. She said, "Our students thoroughly enjoyed the coding activities provided by Barclays and at Dorset Council. It was inspiring to see their excitement and engagement with the tasks. This year's event saw a whopping 68 schools, 73 teachers and well over 7,000 students get involved with the support of 42 local volunteers. The event's success is a testament to the collaborative efforts of passionate teams dedicated to promoting digital skills among young people. The coding activities, designed by Barclays Digital Eagles, captivated students' imaginations and provided a hands-on introduction to the world of coding. A special thank you has been extended by Dorset Council to the volunteers who generously shared their time and expertise. Their contributions, including speaking to students about their tech careers and delivering assemblies, were invaluable in making the overall event a success. Dorset Coding Day continues to grow, engaging more students each year and fostering a love for technology and innovation. And finally, in the news headlines this week, the rail industry has announced free travel for military personnel and veterans to attend remembrance services this year. Serving military personnel and veterans attending services of remembrance on the weekends of the 2nd and 3rd and 9th and 10th of November can travel to and from events by train for free. This applies to the Submariners Remembrance Service in London on the 3rd of November, the National Service of Remembrance at the Cenotaph on the 10th of November, and all other services of remembrance taking place nationwide on the 10th of November. The offer is open to serving military personnel in uniform or in possession of a current MOD 90 Ministry of Defence issued identity card. Veterans travelling on these days will need to show a Veterans Rail card, Veterans Oyster card, MOD issued Veterans ID or other appropriate proof of service. Lucy Inskip, who's the director of the Poppy Appeal at the Royal British Legion, said, "The Royal British Legion is immensely grateful that British train companies continue to recognise the significance of remembrance and offer free transport for veterans and service personnel to attend the commemorations. That means so much to them." And that's the end of our headlines this evening. It's now time in tonight's programme to go over to Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to White Regis TV film review and preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This weekend, the horror sequel Smile 2 arrives in cinemas. The film stars Naomi Scott from Disney's live-action Aladdin as Sky Riley, a pop sensation who begins to experience increasingly disturbing and daunting events as she is about to go on a New World tour and is forced to face her dark past in order to regain control of her life before it spirals out of control, and it's all about coming in contact with the Smile entity. The film is a follow-up to the 2022 film Smile, but only one cast member, Kyle Gallner, reprises their role from the first film as the police officer who gets cursed by the Smile entity at the end of the first film. I think he's only in the beginning of the second film, so I think that's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's kind of a bit obvious given that they're setting up for this for Naomi Scott's character to be haunted by the Smile entity during the film. So far, the film has received positive reviews from critics who praise Naomi Scott's performance, as well as the film's appeal to horror fans. In fact, in pretty much every review I've seen, they're praising Naomi Scott's performance. So it could be an interesting film. What I really liked about the first film is it was an okay film, but what it did really well is it played on the tension. Like, it was really tense, and then they held off on the gore until just for like moments, and just for like brief moments, and it was like 18 rated gore, which I'm not really keen on these days. But hey ho, Smile 2 is in cinemas this weekend, rated 18, so can't take your kids to go to see it. This weekend, Twisters arrived on home video. The film stars Daisy Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell, and Anthony Ramos, and revolves around clashing groups of storm chasers who investigate a tornado outbreak in Oklahoma. It is a standalone sequel to the 1996 film Twister. I really liked the Twister. The film was released in July in cinemas to positive reviews and minor box office success. It's pretty debatable whether or not it could be called a box office success, but I think it made a little bit of money back. But the audiences definitely liked it, who saw it said it was a rousing piece of summer blockbuster cinema, which was helpful because it came out the week before Deadpool and Wolverine. I saw the film in the cinema back in July. I was ill as anything when I watched it, but I loved it. I rated it 4.5 stars out of 5 because it's just a really good blockbuster thrill ride. And even though it's not directed by Steven Spielberg, it feels so much like a Spielberg film. Twisters is out now on home video. That's all I have for this week, thankfully, because I did not want to relive the Mousetrap. But be sure to check back next week where I'll be talking about Venom: The Last Dance, the third and final film in the Venom trilogy, as well as the home video release of Longlegs, a Nicolas Cage serial killer horror film, which I'm actually looking forward to reviewing. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And we'll be back with Andrew in next week's programme. Now is time in the programme for the Saturday evening forecast from the Met Office. And this week we are joined by Ellie Glazier.
Good evening. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office. Storm Ashley is arriving overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, bringing us some very strong winds and some heavy rain. It's been picked up by this strong jet stream, pushing it north and eastwards across the UK. Those very tightly packed isobars indicating the strongest winds, particularly across western parts of Scotland through Sunday afternoon. The area of low pressure, Storm Ashley, pushes its way north and eastwards as we go into the start of Monday, but the tightly packed isobars still indicates those blustery conditions into the start of the new working week. Back to the rest of Saturday though, and it will be a mostly dry and clear start to the evening, perhaps 1 or 2 showers across western areas, but cloud quickly thickening as we see this initial band of rain associated with Storm Ashley pushing in from the west and spreading its way eastwards as we go through the early hours of Sunday morning. Quite a cloudy start to the day on Sunday, so that means quite a mild start too, particularly with those strong winds, temperatures holding up in the double figures, although perhaps just a bit of a chillier start across eastern parts of Scotland where they're holding on to some of those clearer skies. The main thing is those winds picking up through the early hours of the morning. That initial band of rain, we could see gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour along those Irish Sea coastal regions. But as the storm itself tracks its way north and eastwards, parts of western Scotland could see gusts of 70 to 80 miles an hour for a time during the afternoon. So a very windy afternoon for many of us. As we go into the start of Monday, the strongest winds really confined to the far north of Scotland, but generally still remaining a blustery day for the northern half of the UK. Back on to Sunday daytime though, that area of rain pushes its way eastwards quite quickly with those brisk southwesterly winds, turning a little drier with some clear spells behind, but it's those winds that really pick up through the afternoon across western parts of Scotland, the gusts of 70 to 80 miles an hour that are possible. Turning drier and brighter though across much of England and Wales, there'll be some sunny spells through the afternoon, staying a little cloudier across the very far southeast where we see that rain just lingering for a time, and another area of rain then arriving across western parts of Northern Ireland and Scotland later on Sunday. Temperatures on Sunday will be pretty similar to what we saw on Saturday, so still above average for the time of year, 17 or 18 degrees in the south and 13 or 14 further north, but not feeling quite as warm as Saturday with those strong southwesterly winds. As we then go through the rest of Sunday evening, we'll see the area of rain across the southeast clear its way eastwards, but this next area of rain arriving across Northern Ireland and particularly across parts of Scotland where it could turn heavy in places. For much of England and Wales though, it will be a dry night with plenty of clear spells around, and those winds across the north will gradually start to ease as that system tracks away north and eastwards, but still a blustery start to the day on Monday. With that cloud and those strong winds around, it will still be another mild night, temperatures holding up well into the double figures again, although perhaps a little cooler in the very far northwest. So for many of us on Monday, a cloudy and quite damp start to the day, plenty of showers continuing for Northern Ireland, western parts of Scotland, pushing their way eastwards as we go through the morning. For much of Wales, southwest England, it will be turning a little drier, some sunny spells developing as we go into the afternoon, but in the southeast, this next area of rain just skirting the far southeast through the afternoon, perhaps turning heavy in places. Temperatures on Monday will be a little closer to average for the time of year, maybe 15 or 16 in the south and 12 or 13 further north, and with some lighter winds in the south, perhaps feeling a little more pleasant than we saw on Sunday. It will still be remaining quite unsettled as we go into the new working week, so do make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a weather update. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much there, Ellie. Obviously some nasty weather coming to hit us overnight tonight. Let's see what the local weather has in store for us this week. Oh, here we go. There it is. Looking very wet on Wednesday. Very mild, as Ellie was saying there. It's still sort of 16, 17 degrees on average. And still some sunny spells. In fact, today has been an absolutely lovely day today. Not quite what I was expecting today. So, you know, we may end up with some nice spells during the week. But possibility of heavy rain midweek. And, yeah, changeable, I think. Be prepared for anything. I think that's probably the best with the weather this coming week. Now it's our What's On session in this week's programme, and quite a lot coming up at Weymouth Pavilion over the next month or two. In fact, it's quite difficult to select a few things to mention to because there is just literally so much going on. But I've selected a few things. 27th of October, Buddy Holly and the Cricketers. 31st of October, Steve Backshall's Ocean. So I think that's talks all about ocean wildlife, etc. with Steve Backshall. 2nd of November, Fairy Tale of New York. 8th of November, Gareth Malone, Sing Along Gareth. So Gareth's quite well known, obviously, on the TV for his choir programmes. If you like a good sing-song, that sounds like a good one to go to. 9th of November, Ben Elton, Authentic Stupidity. I was listening to Ben Elton on the radio this morning. A very talented comic, but also has written musicals and done all sorts of things. 13th of November to the 16th of November, Wyke presents Our House, the Madness musical. That sounds good as well. So that's just a few of the things on at Weymouth Pavilion. Do pop along to their website, weymouthpavilion.com, where you can see all of the shows coming up through the weeks and months ahead, and you can book tickets online. Looking at the Knowth Fort, the next main thing at the Knowth Fort is 9th of November, their Remembrance installation. They've been putting those poppies, their cascade of poppies, all made from recycled bottles on the banks around the Knowth there, in memory of loved ones. And there will be an unveiling of the installation following a remembrance service held at the Knowth Fort on Saturday the 9th of November. Keep an eye on their website for timings. knowthfort.org.uk is the website. Pop along and have a look at the Abbotsbury and Portersham website as well for their Millennium celebrations. Coming towards the end of their Millennium year, but I do know they've got Scarecrow and Pumpkin event on next weekend over the 26th and 27th of October. So pop along to their website, map24.org, to have a look about that event. And if it's what I think it is, it's going to be scarecrows and everything throughout the village, all dressed up. And those events are obviously always fun to go and see all the different scarecrows and pumpkins. There is the year clock, a celebration of language, history and the life of William Barnes. That's this Thursday, 24th of October at 7 p.m. at Dorset Museum and Art Gallery, and at the Exchange, Sturminster Newton on Sunday the 3rd of November. Tickets £20 for standard and £10 for under 18s. Tickets can be bought from the Dorset Museum website at dorsetmuseum.org or the Exchange at stir-exchange.co.uk. And it's basically a captivating play. The year clock returns to Dorset this autumn, offering a poignant and vivid celebration of language, history and the remarkable life of William Barnes, one of Dorset's most beloved literary figures. Written by Tim Laycock and directed by Sonia Ritter, the year clock will be performed on Thursday the 24th at Dorset Museum and Art Gallery, and again Sunday the 3rd of November at the Exchange, Sturminster Newton. And also looking at something else historic, on the 29th of November 1824, if you can remember back that far, a storm of unprecedented ferocity hit the Dorset coast, flooding many houses, destroying villages in its path and claiming many lives during the 2 days that it battered the coast. Now, 200 years on, Dorset Coast Forum, in collaboration with the Environment Agency and Bournemouth Christchurch Pool Council, bring together a free public exhibition that explores the impacts of the Great Gale of 1824 and what it left in its wake on the Dorset coast. The exhibition will feature personal stories and accounts from 1824, delves into the reasons behind the storm and discusses how we can predict and prepare for possible similar future events. The free exhibition starts at Weymouth Library this coming Friday, the 25th of October, and travels across 5 locations on the Dorset coast, including Lyme Regis, West Bay Pool, and it ends on Portland on the 24th of November. The village of Chisel, Portland was partly demolished by the Hurricane Force storm, and 25 lives were lost during that storm. And to commemorate those affected, Dorset Coast Forum are working with Portland-based arts company B-Side to bring a host of events to Portland. Now, for more information on this exhibition and where you can go along to see it, pop along to www.dorsetcoast.com/great-gale. So www.dorsetcoast.com/great-gale. And I'll certainly be taking a look at that because things like historic things like that always I find interesting. So maybe I'll see you there. Finally, in our What's On, just a reminder of church services in Wyke, Regis tomorrow. 8 o'clock communion service at All Saints Church, 9:30 communion service at All Saints Church, and then 11 o'clock service at St Edmund's Lane House. Of course, our other programme tonight will be our quiz at 7:30, with our stream going live about 7:20. All are welcome to join us. It's a free, family-friendly, community-friendly event. No catches, no fees. Just pop along if you're not doing anything this evening or not watching anything on TV, and you will be most welcome to join us. That brings us to the end of this week's programme. And if you have any news or events for us that you'd like us to share with the people of Wyke, Regis, Weymouth and Portland, South Dorset and beyond in next week or a future programme, then do drop us a line at our email as ever, news@wykeregis.tv. We would love to hear from you. That's all for this week. I hope you have a good weekend and you're not battered too much by the storm that's coming in tonight, and hopefully get some sunshine and fresh air this coming week while the mild weather continues. And I look forward to being back with you next Saturday at 6 o'clock. Good night.